guys, we are live here. This is the HB official live stream, the Q&A. Oh, I'm on my cord. I'm here with Anthony today. How are you?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
Good, good. I'm Keith, the community manager at HB Studios, in case you didn't recognize me for some reason. Today we are at Kettler at the Highlands. This is by Wendy445.
This looks like a great course, just looking at the first hole. I haven't played it before. I'm sure you have, Keith, so again, I'm going to get my ass handed to me.
No, actually I haven't played it.
Right.
I had it on my list. I got this big old list of stuff on my papers, and I said, all right, let's play it for the stream. So I haven't actually done this one.
Looking at the weather out the window here in Nova Scotia, it looks so much like it would be if I was outside. A bit overcast, very green grass.
Nice. All right, so we'll get started with some questions. I see some people in chat already. Welcome, guys and girls.
How many people am I going to get online today moaning at me about the swing?
I don't know.
A record number, I'm thinking.
We're ready. We're ready.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. Got some nice favorable winds here too, 2 miles an hour. So letting it rip there. Might go through the fairway. Nope, good. What's up, Natural Hazards? I see Fusion, Yeltsman, Saber Stuff. Just right off the top there. Probably Sabers. It's hard to see on my screen. Sabers Buff, I think. It's like a weird color. It's like this really light color. It's hard to see. Probably tired of hearing about this, but on PS4, I find it very difficult to hit 100% power after the swing fix. I always set up my shot to hit 100%, but average more towards 92 to 94. Thoughts?
Yeah, so it's the first question off the bat. Nice.
Might as well come right out of the gate with it.
Yeah, well, as I've said on the forums, I'm like, it's taken us a bit by surprise that it's such a big noticeable difference, because we weren't seeing it here. We just played along. We were able to hit the 70s, the 80s. Alan, our CEO, he after the day after it all got excitable that we changed it. I didn't tell him, and he hadn't seen the forums. So I said to him, go and have a look on the swing. So he opened PS4 in the games room, and he sat down with it, and he hit 100%. He went, yes, all right, and then he hit 100% again. And he goes, the problem is with the golf club, he said, I can't get 50%. Look, and he goes and he hits 50% dead on. And then he goes, all right, then let's say 70, and then he hits a 74%. And he's going, wow. And I said, yeah, we fixed it. And he goes, no, this is working perfectly. And it was like, well, see, that's sort of what we were aiming for. I think the problem that we've come across with people on the forums is that people have a lot more relaxed swing than maybe we do. And it's mostly some of the reason why we hear that the game's too easy off the tee, and it's very easy to hit straight. And we've always said, well, it isn't really. If you look at my fairways in regulation, if I load up my stats here, I think I can have a look. Can I? Oh no, I have to quit out. It isn't particularly great, and that's because I think we hit the ball. We swing a lot harder than most, and because we're trying to hit that 100% all the time, and the game was always designed in a way that you should be hitting your 90%, your 90%, and that would be going easy. It's much like me. If I'm on the tee in a very tight fairway, I sit there and I go, okay, this is tight. I'm going to have to keep it like cool and just hit it straight. I don't want to go off into the trees. I don't want to hit that water on the right. Or if I've got a very big open fairway and I'm feeling lucky, or I need to push it because I'm a couple of shots behind, I've got the driver and I'm going mad to hit that 100%. And I think that's the difference. We see 100% as being what John Daly can hit with the driver, not what Jordan Spieth or someone else. John Daly is like the max, and then you got your Fred Couples or people like that who aren't out driving him. He's the number one, and then it's all dependent on how you drive to get you to that. And maybe that's wrong. Maybe we should say 100% is the 90 or the 80, and then everything over that is better. And I don't know. It's like, and then you get 110% and stuff like that, so you can get that drive. As I said last week, I think in the stream, or maybe the week before, there's nothing in our game at the moment that makes you nervous when you're hitting over water, and in real life, that's something that really plays on your mind. and we need to be able to do stuff like that, you know, and you want that to make a good simulation. You have to simulate them thoughts that go through your head. So so yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So what are people saying about that?
Well, they've got a drinking game going, so every time we mention PS4 Swing, everybody takes a drink.
Oh god, there's going to be some drunk people at the end of this.
Let's see. Just drinking game. Everybody takes a shot. Natural hazards. I can honestly say I'm absolutely in love with TGC. I have zero complaints about the game. The only thing I suggest is adding a driving range, chipping, and putting area.
Yeah, and I think this has been a bit of the downfall of the Swing, and this is why I'm asking for people who can't get the 100%, who are telling me they have to slam their joystick and have to, like, they keep getting variable distances. This is why I want to see a video with some feedback. Not because I don't believe it's not happening, it's just that I want to see what people are doing, so we can provide some kind of feedback to you guys to say, listen, you swung forward too early, you were too quick, and this is what happened, and we just don't know why it's not happening at the moment, because we always hit 100% when we want to, and it's really strange. You know, Joel was playing it today, and he was saying, okay, yeah, he was hitting the odd 94, 95, and then but I just go in there and I'm 100 every time, and maybe that's why I'm not as accurate as everyone else. But that's sort of what I want. We want a little bit of variation of the tee. And, you know, if you look at the drive that just there on this second hole, me and Keith are in a few yards of each other. You know, and we want to be a bit different.
Yeah, I haven't had any issues with hitting 100%. So I mean, I guess I just have the Swing that works for me. I mean, I'll cross all three platforms.
I think that's the thing. We want the ability to improve your swing and a technique, and that you can lose that technique and stuff like that. And you know, it's part of the game in real life, and it's something that we sort of want in the game. And you know, I'm still a believer. If we didn't have the percentage in the bottom, would it be that obvious? Because in real life, you just look at the ball, and I go, well, I can hit my driver 250, and then do I know if it actually went 250 or 240? I don't take a yardstick out as soon as I go off the tee and work out exactly where it went. You know, so you're hitting it in that direction, and you're hoping it's going to be around that distance. You never pinpoint accuracy, and that's one of the things people have complained about with the shot shaper and stuff, is that it's too easy to do that, and that's what we want to sort of take away.
Right. Well, that's, yeah. I mean, like I said, maybe taking away the percentage. I mean, maybe that's the way, and then you just swing it the way you want. And I mean, some people will end up hitting it farther, and some people won't. But I mean, I don't really want to see where you just press the A button and you get 100% swing. I mean, that would be no good.
and that's the problem, is that the way it was working before, it was basically that. As long as you moved forward, it didn't matter what you did. It was always going to be 100, because we had one data point from front to back, so we didn't know what speed it went there. So we had to presume you were trying for 100, and that was why you could never get 50s and stuff like that. And I think, yes, the shot shaper is too easy, so a lot of people were saying, well, there's no point to like finesse a shot in. But if you're using a 3-wood, there's a great example there, I think I put on the forum, is Adam V, our physics guy. He was playing over the weekend, and he was at a point on the fairway, second shot in on a par 5, and he said normally, he goes, I've got a choice between a 3-wood or a 5-wood. 3-wood was going to go too far, 5-wood was too short. He said normally I'd go for the 5-wood, go short, dink it in. He took the 3-wood and said, right, because you can't shot shape a 3-wood really into being the accurate. So he took that and went, I'm going to finesse it in, and just like done a full swing, but didn't like rip on it, as people would say. Just finessed it in, hit the 90 like he wanted, hit the front of the green, and bent it into the hole, eagled it, and got his best score on Flathead. And so he was like over the moon, texted me straight away, and he's going, I've mastered it, I've got the 90. And like I sat with him in the games room on Monday, and we sat there, and he was just going, yeah, I want to get a 70, and then boom, 70. It was like it was connected to like the Connect or something. It was listening to his voice and giving him exactly what he wanted. But whatever he said, he'd get. And he just put a bit of practice in over the weekend, and I don't know I don't know if it's that, and because he knows what's going on with the swing and he's getting the feedback, because he knows what the code's like, and we're lacking that feedback at the moment. And I think that could be what people's problem is, rather than the fact that they can't get it. I'm not saying that people are not doing it. They can't do it. It's just I think that maybe our system lacks a bit of feedback. You know, we've never had a tutorial, we've never had anything like that in the game.
What's up, Han? How's it going? T Corsi said 260 is not 100% for pros. I think a better approach would be 100% is 290 carry with a super narrow cone.
Well, yeah, but distance is arbitrary number, really. It doesn't really matter. 260 is what it's set at the moment, you know. And to get 100% of 260 is 260, and then it's the fact is, should 260 be the 100, and then you can overhit that. What we're saying is that most people in our local golf club can, like, the top end golfers at our golf club are hitting the driver 260, and that's sort of what we're saying with that.
Right. Plus, I mean, TGC is you're not really a tour pro.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you're just a weekend golfer out there, so you really shouldn't be hitting at 300 on a regular basis. Fusion says, what's the deal with people who have multiple platforms struggling on PS4 but fine on the others? Is it only a PS4 thing?
Yeah, well, we found, looking at it, that there's something. The code is exactly the same on all three platforms, but we found that there is a little bit of a discrepancy, definitely from Microsoft's end, and it could be across PC and Xbox, because it could be from DirectX in the stuff that we're not looking at. So Devon's looking at that at the moment. So we definitely want it all equal. That is not a problem. Like, getting it equal. It's whether or not what that equal is. Do we keep it as it is on PS4, just to keep our forums alive by making Xbox just as hard, and then we'll do it to the PC a few weeks later, just and just make Keith's life harder, or do we do some tuning around that? You know, it's not. As I said, at this stage of the game, I didn't want to make any major changes to the gameplay. The gameplay is well. And we didn't think this change was going to be a major gameplay change. We thought it was just, it gives a bit of granularity between 100. But it seems that everybody was swinging so slowly before that it has caused a big issue for many people. You know, and we don't want to alienate players, but we want to make sure that everybody coming to the game goes, okay, this is the best golfing experience there is. And see, looking at this hole and what I'm standing in front of now, I should be nervous that, you know, I might not get over that water and try and rip on it to definitely get it over, and be scared that I'm going to fade or draw it into the water.
Hey, Bright Tail, how's it going? Jim said, with how easy it is on PS4 to upload a vid to YouTube, you should have loads of people linking videos.
You know, and I want to see. It's not so much like the video of them playing; it's the video of their hands and how they're using the controller, because it's just like I don't understand it. Like I've looked at like that swing I put up on YouTube there last Thursday, I think it was, where I done it one-handed. That's not how I play. I play two-fingered like that, if you can see it, and I go backwards and forwards. So to do anything different feels strange.
Yeah, I just use one thumb.
So yeah, and to do that one thumb, if I could do it one-handed. Oh, nice part.
Thank you.
One-handed like that, and that's like so alien to me, and I got it immediately. It was just, what am I doing differently to everyone else is what I want to know, because I want to. Am I doing something that's completely wrong that we can tune to make fit for everyone else, or are we not providing enough feedback to people to make them realise what they're not doing? Because all this talk about slamming joypads and stuff, like there's no slamming, you know. The joypad I've had at my desk for 2.5 years is still in perfect condition. You know, the one that I had before, what I was playing Madden on when I was working on Madden, is destroyed. But the golf club one is pristine and like perfect. So I'm not seeing the slamming going on, and that's another thing I want to find out on where people are finding trouble to get that 100%.
Right. Bright Tech and semi-consistently 95 to 98% shots. Liquid Snake said he preferred the old method. It was smoother. 1 second, I'm missing the question here. Daddy 3000. Good day, guys. How are the alternate modes of play coming along? just before I lose that question. I'm sure we'll come back.
Alternate multiplayer. Well, said we've got Brian working on multiplayer. At the moment, he's doing a few things just for that onboarding and making it feel like it's a good experience to join and meet up with your friends. Once we've got that in, we'll look at the other modes of play and what we can do. You know, it'd be nice to get a match play in there. It's just getting everyone on the tee and making sure that they're all in a game without it being a lobby. I'm a believer that it doesn't need to be a lobby.
I was lucky.
It just needs to be a fun experience and get people on the tee at the same time. You know, me and Keith know that we're going to be on the tee at 4:30 every Thursday or 4 o'clock, so we're both here and it works fine. It's just how do we make that experience for users all the time.
Right. Yeltsman, before I lose the comment, he said you can't change the distance of clubs now because there's, you know, 75,000 courses designed for these distances. So
yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's something we wouldn't want to do. And that's another reason why I'd be reticent to change something to give you 110%. But maybe if everyone's hitting 94% now and that's their swing, and then they've got a chance to go an extra bit, give it a bit of a boost, then maybe that's okay. You know, I want to ask the designers as much as anyone, because will it ruin their courses if people can start hitting a little bit longer? Maybe, but that's if the risk and rewards there where people aren't hitting as straight once they have to hit that little bit longer, does it make it better?
I like this approach shot here. It's nice. Let's see. What's up, Blue? How's it going? Burton Cat's in the chat as well. Biggins has agreed with Anthony there. You never seem to have that nervousness on tees and video golf games.
You know, and see, there's a lot of talk, and I know Divot Maker's always around every forum on every community going on about it's not a simulation, and my point always is it is a simulation. It's a simulation of the game of golf. Simulation doesn't mean hard. Simulation means to simulate the same thoughts that go through your head, and I want a certain amount of nervousness when approaching certain hazards and stuff like that. And you know, you want that disappointment when you miss a putt, and you want that elation when you get like anything over at like a 9-foot putt. You know, to be given a 9-foot putt easily, or being able to easily hit over water, is not a simulation in my mind. Doesn't matter if it's like hard to hit straight off the tee. It's all about that thought process that goes through your head. Okay, there's a risk here, and what do I have to do? And that simulates what I'm seeing, like I'm doing on the golf course. And I don't expect the guy that I'm controlling to be as bad as me, like my natural talent. He should be better than me, but I should have the same thoughts that go through my head as a pro or like myself. Oh, I didn't put the right club in. Oh, I've got to definitely do that. That's just cost me a shot. That should default to the 9. Oh, and then I've rimmed out.
Oh.
And this is exactly what I talk about when I'm talking about simulation. Because that is exactly what would happen to me in real life.
B-Man Canada, hope there are no plans to go back to the old swing as the new one has made the game way better.
Wendy, I was loving this course, and what have you done to this green, love? This is awful. Awful.
Alright, so going in a little bit different direction. Everybody's probably drunk at this point, so let's get a couple other different questions here. Han Shady in the forums said everybody is preoccupied with swing gate, so no one's posting any questions. This was the first question that came up. I said, love the Smash controller tee shot video. Nice technique.
Yeah, that was actually a broken PS3 controller. It wasn't like a brand new PS4 controller. And even Amy in IT came in. She was off last week. She came in on Monday and went, was that a new one?
Oh,
and I said, no, Amy, it wasn't. It wasn't a new one. Don't worry. That was actually with a golf club that we've been looking at. Yeah, it had engraved the golf club on it, and yeah, took it out. We're trying to use it on our Pro T stuff at the moment, and it's really nice club. Really nice club.
I just 3-putted from about 10 feet. His question was, what changes do we expect to see in the upcoming update?
What changes do we expect to see? So we've got multiple surfaces. Paul's working on them at the moment, just finishing them off. So there's some mulch in there now, and there's like different surfaces and stuff like that. So he's working on that. And Brian's multiplayer stuff. That's going to be a big change. We're going to let me think. What else is in there? Some new swing stuff. Just a little bit of tightening of that, and making sure everything's across the board. That I'm not sure when that next update will come. Probably September. Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't got the full list in front of me. You know, we work on different things throughout the day. You know, Swinggate has taken up most of our time, as it is everybody else's.
True. Paul gave me a quick look. He's working on also for the GNCD you don't have to spam your right bumpers anymore to scroll through all the brushes. He showed me it's a little like a box that pops up, and you can just use the stick to move across to the ones you want, and then you bumper it across through pages of the brushes. So I think that'll be nice. So you don't have to hit the bumper like 17 times to get to a brush and things. Alright, a little blind shot here, but that's alright. Let's see. I don't want to go right back to a question, but it is the next one. Loud of Order said, have you played the game of PC recently, and if so, how do you think the swing measures up to your vision for how the game should play?
The swing on the PC is okay. I don't think it's quite as granular as the Xbox, as the PS4. Mm-hmm. But we're looking into that, and you know, maybe there's a happy medium in between. That is a shot. Make up for that.
Lovely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to make up for that, you know, there's a happy medium in between. So I don't know. As I said, we're still looking into it. We don't want to alienate people. We don't want people to have enjoyed the game to not enjoy the game, but we want to make sure that the widest amount of people possible can enjoy the game in the way that we see as it should be played. You know, we've come out. We want to be like the go-to golf game. You know, for people who enjoy the game of golf. You know, as I was talking to someone earlier in a meeting, we don't want to be a golf game for video gamers. We want to be a golf gamer's video game. You know, and I think we've got a decent chunk of them people. You know, but you know, I want to be going into our local golf club and people talking about that, much like something like Football Manager, where people that go and watch soccer at the weekend will always talk about Football Manager. None of them guys actually play other video games. You know, they're just all about Football Manager, and that's their game they play. And we want to be the same for something like golf, where you know we're the golfer's golf game. So you know, we don't want to. We've got a very good community. We've got a strong base, and I think we don't want to alienate any of them people. It's just about getting it right. So you know, there's that difficulty off the tee, and we're getting that sort of like thought process that people have on a golf course, and that's what we want, and that's, you know, we're always striving to get. And it's just trying to get that, and it is a balancing act. You know, as I've said, you know, at this stage in the game, I didn't really want to change the gameplay too much, and I didn't actually think that this change was going to be a big change, but it seems to have been. So what can we do?
Right.
It's you know, it's just continued tuning and making it better. But I'm finding the PS4 swing really nice. I like the PC swing. I think it lacks some of the nuances, like finessing, that I can get on PS4 now. But maybe someone said in the forums, maybe we need a practice swing in there. Maybe that's something like that, just so you can get the rhythm before you take the shot. And that was the problem before the fix, was that you got that rhythm, and once you were getting the rhythm, and then all of a sudden you were hitting a high frame rate, and you drop because that rhythm, you have more data points, and that was where you were going wrong. So it's like something like that.
Cool. Liquid Snake asks, what about snap up objects on the course designer? Just completely changing direction there.
What objects?
I think he means maybe being able to snap objects together. So if you had like the bridges are very hard to kind of line up and things. So maybe
Yeah. That long bridge I did in Littlebrook Manor took me the most out of anything that I think I designed. But it did make it on quite a few screenshots and back of box things. I think for the saw the box for Europe, which should be out soon. It's something definitely on our list. It's one thing that Jim always moans about whenever he's building courses and stuff. He goes, "We need these things to snap." So yes.
Cool. Let me pull down. Get my swing in here, and then I'll. Oops. Get another question lined up. Viper NH, we sort of touched on. Will you ever have online mode? Since I won't read the rest of the question. Talking about the other game, but will you ever have online modes?
Online mode. Well, we've got an online mode. Just the fact that there isn't a lobby, it doesn't really need. I always say I don't think we need. I think that once you see the changes we put into the next update in like September, I think there'll be a I think there'll be a lot of people quite happy with the way that's going and what that can do. You know, when I always ask people, like when they say they want lobbied multiplayer, it's all game modes that they want, and then I think that we can definitely achieve that. Oh, I'll take that part as well. 2 birdies in a row.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
Gotta concentrate now.
Yeah.
A little 14-footer. Oh, I didn't hit it. Nope. Burton Cat, is there going to be a prize for the 100,000th course published?
That's a good point. Maybe. Yeah. What happens if it's like some donkey course and someone's just pushed out? That'd be embarrassing. It might end up like the Cube or whatever it was by Peter Molyneux's lot. 22 cans just end up, and then we'll forget about it, and somebody produce some little rubbish hole-in-one thing. Yeah, I don't know. If it was guaranteed to be good, I could say yes to that. I like the idea.
Or maybe just something for the designer, not necessarily the course itself.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll think about that. That's a nice thing. I like that.
The rule should be it can't be auto-gen, though.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sabers buff. Overall, in your estimation, back to the PS4. Get ready. Get your drinks ready. What percentage of PS4 users are experiencing swing power issues, and is it enough to potentially fix or redo? Might have missed your earlier comments, but do acknowledge there was a problem. So yeah, we kind of touched on that one. But I just wanted everybody.
I don't think the thing is as well is that our forums are a small percentage of people that have bought the game, you know, and then there's a small percentage of the people on the forums that are having problems, you know, and it's very easy from my point of view and the team's point of view to sit there and start panicking when you see like 70 pages or whatever it is now of, oh my god, the whole world's going to die. But then you look at like the people commenting on it, and is there a huge amount of people commenting on it? Not overly when you look at what, if we've got 5,000 members on that forum, and like you look at the hundreds of thousands of sales that we've had, that's a small percentage. You know, and Keith gets it in the ear more than I do, because he's got to look at Twitter and all these other things. And you know, we haven't got a huge backlash, you know, and the people that have and actually tried it and learned how to use it have preferred it. It's, as I said, just I think it's our own fault for not having enough feedback to the user. And I think once everyone's got a bit of feedback and learns how to use it, I think that it's actually a nicer technique. But overall, we don't want to alienate people, so we're continuing to look into it, and we'll see.
Yep. Bob5453, when is the next PC patch update coming? So he said maybe around September or so. That's
we might do another one, because I said if we find this swing has got a slight. Oh, come on! No way! Awful. yeah, so it's like we might push another one out in between, but it won't be a major update. It'll just be like a maybe control stuff.
Pointed Marlin. I think Taste TGC2 thread was a bit tongue-in-cheek, but is there any plans for a next version, or are you planning on updating this for a few more years?
I think there's definitely like we've got definitely a next 12-month plan for keep updating this, you know, and then we'll see what we've got at the end of that. You know, there has been interest from certain publishers that want to take us on board to continue developing stuff and maybe take it under their wing. It's like we quite like being independent, but you know, it's good if you can work with someone good and that matches your vision. You know, if we want to do a Unity 5 update, which is something we'd have to do, I think that would require a TGC2 because it's just too much of an undertaking and an expense for something that isn't hugely, like, you couldn't put it as a piece of DLC, you know, and you know, I thought DLC over a period of 2 or 3 years would be better than a yearly sports title, but the backlash that we got from releasing something and people thinking we were screwing them over, if you look, is like, I felt quite strange about. So I don't know, maybe people don't feel as ripped off as we thought with yearly sports titles, but I'd rather, the plan at the moment for us is to do another 12 months of support for this and sort of take stock in that period of time and see what we want to do with the golf club from that point on. You know, I think we've got a very, very good game. We've got a very, very strong base game. We want to be, you know, the #1 golf game for golfers, and you know, and our business outside of video games has grown as well with people like Pro T who have got that great simulation stuff. So it's like, yeah, I can't say yay or nay at the moment, and you know, I'm sure that TGC is not the end of golf for HB Studios, and you know, if in 12 months' time we think that there's room in the market for another version, I'm sure we'll do one.
Yeah, Han made a comment, just said bridges and walls snapping needs to have a toggle option. Yeah, that'd be good, because not everybody wants them to snap together, so that was just a little throwback there. Viper was asking, when he asked about online modes, he was saying best ball or team play, like alternate shot type things.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think once we get this onboarding working, we can start looking at how we can do that. You know, they're not overly difficult to do. If we just have to make sure them scorecards aren't stored for ghost balls, because it means that you can't, if you've got alternate shot and stuff like that, the ghost ball will be jumping all over the place.
Let's go up here. Everybody charge your glasses. Scruffy says there's nothing wrong with the PS4 swing.
Scruffy's been a big fan of the swing.
Everybody has to take a drink. We mentioned PS4 swing again. He also commented in the forums. He said,
"I should have got some booze for me here. I got to see how wasted I could get by the end of the Twitch feed."
He'd asked, "What if you let yourself in for? I should ban swing questions." And he said, "But I think you should both play on PS4." And I don't know if I commented in there or not, but I mean, we could. It's just a little bit tougher because I have a second monitor where I could put up all these questions and everything else, so it just makes it a little bit tougher. But maybe one of these days we could figure out
we could maybe just play around tomorrow or something if I've got a bit of time, and
sure.
Me and you play around on the PS4 string.
Yeah, that'd be good.
And just play around without all the sort of these questions. Just more about just a swing thing, maybe. I don't know.
That'd be good.
If I can, I've got to write the dev diary, guys, because every time I do this is if I send Paul in to do this, or Jordan or someone, I'll write the dev diary while this is going on. So the fact that I haven't got the time, I normally try and do that in the morning, but you know, we'll see. I'm sure people prefer a late dev diary. Oh, another nice putt. Boom.
Ooh, very nice.
A late dev diary if they can see me do the swing, but we'll see.
T. Corsi said, I think education about current online mode should be better discussed. New people, including myself, are not aware of how or where to do it.
Sorry, I wasn't listening there.
T. Corsi just asked, thinks education about the current online mode should be better discussed. New people, including myself, are not aware of how to do it.
The online modes?
I guess I'm assuming it means turn-based.
Turn-based, yeah.
How to get into
And that's
it.
the thing, I think, and this is what I think we're going to do with Brian now. It's got that whole onboarding feel. So then you get to the tee, and it's like, okay, I want to play a match play, and you can do that, and it pushes out a message, and you can get on there, and you can start playing with your friends and all these different things. It's just going to be a lot cleaner. At the moment, it's sort of hidden and a little bit annoying and messy to get with, you know. And so once we get that sorted, I think we'll be cooking with gas.
Alright, let me pause you for a second here, pull down some more questions. C mount for life. Did I hit? Yeah. How much closer are we to adding a slope grid? Oh, did I lose you? Oh no, you're still there.
Slope grid, as in.
I'm sorry, I thought I lost you. My internet.
Right.
Oh, jeez.
No. Slope grid is the thing we were talking about where we could put it in. We haven't started looking at it yet. It's something that I think is a good idea. So I'd like to put it in, but nothing in there yet.
Yeah, he just asked he was referring to under the character's feet, so you could see the
it was one of them. I talked about
things.
it a while back where I said you could just click it on and off and on just to see what the slope was around you, and then you could also use it and move it around to see gradients everywhere, including like making the green grid bigger and stuff. Then.
Yep. Any progress been made on making bunkers less sticky or plug happy?
Not at the moment. I think that'll all come in when we try and have a look at the short game and just try and tune that a little. So, you know. I think the short game. I tell you what, I love this course. I love the look of it.
Yeah,
it's really good.
It's great. Definitely, hope everybody should go out and give this one a play for sure.
Apart from that one green that I got absolutely screwed on there. Get this in the hole, and then I'll be laughing.
There were a few questions. I'll just go.
I'm not concentrating.
Ooh.
Yeah, go on.
A few questions about the winds, and some people seem to see high winds all the time. I mean, I see a variation, but can you explain like kind of how the winds get generated for tournaments? And I mean, it's not. We just take it what the wind is when that tournament gets generated, and then it's that. So for that round, so it's. How about if you
it varies in between, in like a little bit in between them things.
Okay.
So
like if you do a 4-round event, it'll be roughly around kind of when you generated it?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So if like you use this course and you create whatever the wind is at the moment would be what the wind is for the first round, and then we move the clock forward 24 hours to see what the wind would be like that, and then we move the clock forward 24 hours to see what the wind would be at that point, and then that's how we create the 4 rounds.
Okay, so it's
and like saying the wind's too strong, it's only 3 miles an hour here, so.
Oh yeah. So it's just totally random. I mean, you could have an event where you could have 1 to 3 miles in the first round. Second round could be 15.
Yeah.
It could happen. It's just all right. Yeah. Okay.
There we go. Double bogeyed it. God, I was doing so well.
Yeah, we were right there. All right, so we're heading for the back 9 here. Jambo Machiavelli. Is it possible to change the color of the aiming reticle as it mostly blends into the skyline? It's hard to see.
All right. Yeah, I actually turned mine off.
Yeah, I don't play with it either.
Yeah. If you use the gap between the wind dial and the miles per hour square, it's normally a good way to do it. But yeah, I don't know. People have said that in the past. That it was hard to see.
Trying to work it around the tree here. Oh, that's pretty.
Ooh.
Okay. He also asks, is it possible to get the camera that is used in watching an opponent's turn order shot? It's brilliant. The camera follows closely with the ball right up into the air, then down to its target.
So it's a different camera?
I suppose. Let's see. I don't know if he means like we're turn base here. Why does your ball follow? I mean, this looks the same to me, unless he's using a different. He might be using a different camera that's showing a different angle as opposed to what we're watching here on the screen. I mean, I have the follow cam off.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think it's if you've got the follow cam off, it will be off for your shot, but it will follow it. It will still follow your opponent.
Hmm. Yeah, it's following yours. For me, I have to hit the A button.
Where I've got it off as well.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Got to concentrate.
Let's see. Han, talking about walls, is there a fix in sight for the walls disappearing when you're trying to line them up? Sometimes that happens in the designer. You get close and they kind of disappear. You have to kind of move out a little bit. So
I have to talk to Paul on that one.
Viper, other questions, more choices of what clubs to have in your bag?
Yeah, we've done a lot of talking about that. We were actually going to put it in the actual first update we were going to do for 2UC, and we didn't. It was just we wanted to put hybrids in and stuff like that, and we couldn't. Game-wise, it didn't improve. It didn't improve our game for the amount of work we needed. But I think over time, it's definitely something we want to do. In the hole. Oh, rimmed it again.
Alright, everybody charge up your glasses. D-Dog says for some, I'm sure it's the case, but not for all PS4 users, it should be the same swing from one system to the next, and right now it isn't.
Yeah, and we totally agree, D-Dog. I don't think there's any disagreement on that. I think, as I said on the forums, we have found a discrepancy at the moment with what we're getting back from the black box at Unity stroke Microsoft, and it might be a DirectX thing, you know, and so that's what we're looking into. Devon's looking at that, and as soon as we've found out what that is, it will be across the board. What we're doing is we're taking a lot of the tuning of the swing to our servers, so that means that we can continually tune it from our side without having to put updates in. So once we push this update out, you might see an update on PS4 as well, and that gives us the ability to tune as we sit and talk to you guys.
Cool. All right, everybody, take a drink. Let's see. Just trying to read through some of these. Pause you for a second. A lot of questions flying around. Saber's buff, can graphics and visuals be updated in the future?
Yeah, in the year 3010, graphics will be amazing. Yeah, I think there's certain things we want to do to improve the graphics. You know what I'm very impressed with at the moment is how well our game stands up against some of the big hitters that have been released in the last couple of weeks, shall I say. I think our backdrops look outstanding. You know, our dynamic skies look really, really good. I think our water's good. There's lots of things, and especially when you give the users the ability to create anything they like. It's very hard to manipulate the game to look amazing all the time when you've got something as powerful as the course designer. So you sort of leave it in the hands of people. Plus, we can't bake lighting, and we can't do stuff like that, and we can't put certain scenarios in that makes the game look its best at all camera angles. You know, the camera's going to go to, and that's why sometimes we don't look up to scratch of other things. That being said, our golfer and our animation, I think, is well behind the competition, and it's something that I think we would definitely want to improve on. It was something we were never overly happy with, you know. And Joel was talking about it on the forums as well. We've always said that we had a limited amount of time and a budget for that animation. You know, we never knew 2GC was going to be this big. At the beginning, it was just going to be a 3-click button, create a course and play it. And then as we sort of outdid ourselves and created a really good course creator, and that has given us, you know, a bigger audience, and given us an ability to compete with people and get mentioned in reviews with people, and, you know, good and bad. And, you know, we are behind the competition in quite a few things because, you know, at the beginning we didn't have the budget to do them kinds of things. So that's why our golfer, and I always say this, you know, if you take our golfer off the screen, it looks like a real life backdrop. You know, you look at what some of them photos that Biggins puts up, and, you know, you go, wow. And then you look at and you put our golfer there, and you go, oh, it looks like a video game again now. You know, and that's always a disappointment. So it's something we want to work on. And I see T. Coulsey there saying edge of bunkers. Definitely, you know, that's something. Again, we've not done a great job on, I don't think, and we can't mould them. And that's the problem, because the user can mould them and make them the shapes they want. We can't mould them in 3D Studio Max or something like that to make them look as perfect as they are. So we have to be slightly dynamic. But saying that, there's ways around that. You know, I've suggested to the guys that maybe we have models, small models that you just place around the bunker, and you can make different type of edging. And you know, when we first started looking at this game, we didn't think people would want to do that. But then you look at people making train tracks out of like bits of wood, and you're going, oh my god, they're going to put hours into that. They'll definitely put hours into their bunkers.
Right. Biggins, any plans to improve the retaining walls?
Not at the moment. What sort of improvements would you like?
Yeah, if you can follow up on that question. There's a little bit of talk about Rocket League. Have you given that one a try? That's pretty fun.
No, I'm refusing to. Everyone at work's talking about it, and I'm saying it's a sports game for non-sports game fans. So I'm being cantankerous and not playing it. They've got a league here at work, and they're all playing at lunchtime. So it's a 2-player league, like 4 players, so 2 against 2.
Ooh, look at this.
And everyone's going on about how great it is. So I'm refusing to play.
Okay.
Just because I'm like that.
Chief Millie, is HBO a real person? Yes, he is.
Yeah, HBO. And so Adam Fitzgerald is leaving at the end of the month to go travelling, and Owen is his replacement. He's been here for a couple of months already, and we've taken him on to the golf club. So he is a real person. Poor guy, his first post, he got absolutely destroyed. Felt so sorry for him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
He went home and cried.
He did. He couldn't believe it. He's coming to work the next day. He goes, I got destroyed on the forums. I was just laughing at him.
Welcome to the internet.
Yeah.
Fusion asked, how about when lofting up and down, the modification line changes thickness massively, so you don't know exactly how much you're lofting?
Yes, yeah, and there's lots of things like that we want to improve on, because you know, we not only the short game, but the sort of the whole shot shaping game, I think, is a little too easy at the moment. And this is another thing where people, you're saying on the forums, we don't want to finesse our shots, we can dial it in. Well, that shouldn't be the case. You know, no one ever takes a 6-iron out and goes, well, I'll just move my stance a little and then I'm going to hit it there. What you do is you go, well, if I hit this at 75, 50, 75, 100, you know, or just like a little bit under my full power, I can get it to this. And that's what we want in the game. We want people to be able to feel them shots. And I think that with the issues we're having with the shot shaper has made life a little easy for people so far as well, and that's what's causing some of the backlash.
Right. Yeah, taking some of the math out would be great. That's Pub Night on the forums that asked about that, about the grid on the shot shaping. So saying, you know, not being able to loft up a 3-iron to make it similar to a 7-iron.
Yeah.
That's kind of touches there. Smurfblade, what's HB stance on ball squirts, particularly on par 3s, where in a 1 mile per hour wind I could hit dead straight and miss 6 or 7 boxes wide?
Yeah, so we're looking into this, you know, and there was things saying ball squirt went missing and ball squirt was back, and we've never touched anything like that. You know, there is something in there that if you've got your x-axis like pretty much straight, it's going to add some random to it. We do that because, you know, we wanted to take away from the straight shooters, and it's still there. I don't know if it's actually any good or anything. Something we were going to review again soon. But there should be no ball squirting when you're on the tee and you're just hitting straight like me. There's no squirt there. That is just all me. That shot straight into the bunker.
On the forums, Fusion asked about any chance of adding more gusts to the wind in general.
You don't think there's enough gusts at the moment?
I guess maybe he means like if you had a 4 mile an hour wind, then all of a sudden it could go up to 8 or 9, like when you're about to hit or something. I think.
Yeah.
Fusion, correct me if I'm wrong there.
Imagine. Imagine the backlash then. It was funny when we worked with Pro T. Them guys, he was saying that they also get the backlash for wind as well, even on their simulator people. So yeah, I think we're always looking to improve the wind. There's some good things we want to do. I think the wind stuff we've got in there at the moment is really good. Adam spent a lot of time on it, and he's really happy with it. But he's got a lot of things, he always wants to do to improve it. Bigger gusts maybe. It's doing that and balancing gameplay to make sure that it's still fun.
Okay. Guitar Dude in the forums said, I'm eagerly anticipating the new updates for the course creator, so I have 2 questions. Approximately speaking, when will the next update be released? So he said maybe around September or so, not quite sure at the moment.
It looked like September.
And then, what examples of new surfaces can we expect, i.e. mulch, pine needles, etc.?
I can't remember. Paul's working on it. You have to ask Paul. He keeps coming to me and goes, yeah, we put these in, we've done that, and then I forget immediately. Because I know he's doing a good job, and I don't have to worry about him too much. So he sits next to me, and he's just working away, and he sends me YouTube videos of great golf shots that he's seen on the internet and stuff. And yeah, so I can't remember off the top of my head everything what he's working on all the time.
Ursos Actos in the forums talking about the course rating system. And let's see, one of the reasons is, of course, they're given a stroke rating only after a certain amount of plays. Will this be adjusted in the future, such as the designers preset the defaulting stroke indexes for each hole, and then maybe it could be recalculated every 50, 100 plays, what have you? Yeah,
and it was funny. We had quite a bit of a discussion when we put handicap systems in, if we should let the designer decide the stroke index or not. And we decided that for first off the bat we wouldn't, and we'd let the computer work out what the stroke indexes were. What that leads to is strange, some strange stroke indexes sometimes, because like par 3s will get the stroke index 1, which is very rare on a course. But I don't know if it suits the game. Oh, behave! That went straight over the hole. No. Yeah, so I'm not sure. We'd have to sort of test it out and work out. Oh God, that was my own fault. A couple of real stinkers. I've had a good round apart from a couple of holes. That's why I prefer Stableford rules.
take out those blow-ups.
Yeah.
DHNUFC in the forums talked about there's some great stats with the API. It would be great to see that in the game.
Yeah, and that's another thing that we basically store everything. So my point is why do we not show this everything? And it creates video games can be very flat and two-dimensional if you make them that way, and you can get a lot out of very little by creating that third dimension with stats and stuff, especially when we already store it. It's not like it's a huge amount of work. We just need to do some screens and some nice ways. John could use them to say, well, to get over this bunker on this hole, you need to get your longest ever drive, or longest drive on this. You've just beat the longest drive on this course or this hole, and and things like that, just to add that third dimension. And we can use all them stats, and we can show them, and we've got plenty of ideas on how we want to do that, and that's going to come over time. It's just like picking away at these things and just like making sure that we're getting the right things on screen and making it feel third dimensional. And then for geeks like myself who just like looking at graphs and stats, I want to see more of that. Election night in the UK is one of my favourite things. Even got an illegal stream with the BBC a few months back just to watch the swingometer going up and down as the night went on. So that's my kind of thing.
In terms of stats, Royce had a question and said, would it be possible to add the advanced stats such as scrambling and power breakers, which are available post-round, to the regular in-game menu stats data screen?
Yes, we most probably could, because we store it, as I said. So it's must be silly. It's space must probably, and stuff like that. So the more stuff we want to do. There you go. I just finessed that shot as I wanted to. Let's see what happens. I didn't shot shape. pretty happy with that at 92%.
Oh, not bad. He said, let's see, and it would also be nice if you could pull up a course leaderboard from the select course screen. That way users could see some leaderboard info prior to selecting a course to play.
Yeah, and I think there's things like that all them kinds of things we need to work on, like tournaments and all that flow in, because there isn't enough. You know, you want to, when you go to a course, you want to get the feel that you've arrived at a course and what people have done on that course before and stuff, and you don't get that at the moment. You just play and you're hitting the ball. And it was one of the things that I outlined when we started the game, is it should be like that, because, you know, previous golf games over the last 5 years, you know, you get the disc, you put it in your console, you've got to take it, like download it from the disc onto the console, you install it, then you got to get the latest patch, and then you got to go through the tutorial, and next minute you got an hour and a half, and you got to go out again. You haven't even played a round of golf yet, and then you don't go back to it for 3 weeks, and then when you go back again, you got another like big thing, and then you got to do all this, and you got to go through all these things. And it's like, I just want to sit down and have a quick hit of a ball, and that was one of the things was like we have to get to. Now I think that we've built that, and we know we can get into courses quickly, but we want to create, as I said, a third dimension as you're walking through. Feel like it's got a bit of depth to the game, and we can use them stats a lot more. And yeah, that's all them ideas are definitely something we want to look into.
Cool. Tarbat on the forums, what priority and resources are you giving to fixing the seasons mode problem? When do you expect it to be? When do you expect a fix to be live on Xbox One?
We expect a fix to be live on Xbox One very soon. So we found the bug. We found it yesterday. So we weren't able to create it in-house, and we weren't sure why people were having the problem. But what happens is it was outside of the golf club code. So the code for season mode is the same on each machine. It works on PC as it works on PlayStation as it works on Xbox, and we couldn't understand why a certain problem on Xbox was happening. Turns out there's a slight a number generator to check against scorecards, and this generation of a code is always different. And so that meant that if it was different, then it was a brand new season and you could carry on. And what happens was on the Xbox, the black box code that we used to get some of this random stuff from either DirectX or Unity, I'm not sure which one, was giving us the same code every time, which would then cause a crash because it thought there was the scorecard available when there wasn't. And that was what was causing the problem. So we found that yesterday. I'm speaking to Microsoft. We're putting a package together at the moment, and it's just trying to get through. Maybe 2 weeks. And then it will also have, I want to make sure this swing's sort of tuned for the Xbox as well, so we've got that correct, and that's when I'll put it in.
Okay. Scob 1972, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Question is regarding fully offline course selection. When I have no internet connection at all, I only have access to 23 or so HB official courses, no suggested courses at all. Previously, before updates, and I'm not sure which one, I had access to 70 plus courses. Is there any plans to continually add suggested courses to the offline list? So I guess
yes, yeah, we constantly want to add to the suggested list, so you can always get them. I wasn't aware that you were losing, that the last update made you lose them courses. You should have had all of them, and it should have just.
I think he's referring to, I don't know if this is the same person. I've been going back and forth with someone on Facebook question, but they're talking about, I guess they go out to they have a cabin somewhere, or when they travel for work, sometimes they don't have internet at all, so it's not the offline mode. I mean, it's like zero internet whatsoever. So he says that's when he gets the 23. Because I tried it, I went offline, and I can pull up all the suggested courses. I have over 100. So
yeah, okay. Well, if you can get more info, I'll get Mitchell to have a look at it, and we can get that working. Because the whole point is that you have as many courses as possible available to you. So yeah.
Would you ever see a system where someone could download a course? They could download courses to be able to play for just that reason, if they didn't have internet. So maybe while they're connected, they could download courses to play.
Yeah, it's a bit of a rework of our back-end system, but we've mentioned it and looked into it before, and it's just a matter of time. So it's like, who's available for me to get to do it? it's a reasonably complex task, so I've got to get like Rami or someone.
Okay. Nice. Big T, is fog still on the radar? And are there any plans to make the rain heavier or more visible?
Sort of, yes. We want to constantly improve that sort of that feel and stuff. I don't know when it's going to appear, but the radar has everything on it. That's the problem. It's just that when we get around to doing it, like we thought the rain was a good start, or the way we did it.
Mm-hmm.
I think we into the future, if that was a like this or TGC 2 or 3 or 100 or whatever it got to, because I said we don't know what the plan is there.
Gosh.
If we
that was horrendous.
Yeah. Would we want to link that to some kind of weather network or something, so we can like maybe put like so they link your calls to a certain area, so when Wendy made this call she can say, well, this was made to be part of like near Birmingham in England, and then we just take the weather from Birmingham in England.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've got to look at that and say, okay, you know, is that going to cost us any money to link to the weather network? But it'd be great if we could get the winds and the rain and the fog and the cold and all things like that, and you can actually go to an icy surface. Like if you've made your course in Birmingham and it's snowing, imagine that you could go there and you know, the themes will not be as time of year dependent then. So then, you know, if it's October, you'll always get an autumnal theme.
Cool. KY Duckman on the forums was asking about, he said you had mentioned about you were going to try the live multiplayer as a build was being worked on, and he was curious what the outcome was, and could we expect something released to the public in the next couple of weeks?
I doubt it will be a couple of weeks. Brian's working on it still. I did have a play of it. We found a few issues with it, you know, and it's something that, you know, once we get it out there, I want it to be smooth and really nice experience, and people go, wow, you know, it'll really improve that. So I want to make sure it's right before we really push it out, and make sure people people get the wow factor when they actually sit down and play multiplayer for a while.
Guys, I'm sorry, I've got the chat kind of paused here. I'm just trying to get through the forum questions, and then I'll run through the chat as well. Hans Shandy said, can you tell Anthony, Kickoff 2 is one of my favorite games ever, better than Sensible Soccer in my opinion.
Oh, good man. It's funny because after I finished working at Eidos, I worked for a company for a small bit called Asylum on a Doctor Who game that was one of the worst things I'd ever been involved in. And my name didn't even get on the credits because I didn't want it on it. But I actually worked with John Hare, sat next to him. And like, couldn't believe it because the two of us basically started the same week, and we ended up sitting next to each other. So the Kickoff 2 and the Sensible guy arguing in the office, which one was better, was quite amusing.
You said just found out you were part of Anko and Dino Dini?
Dino Dini, yeah, I don't know Dino that well. Steve Screech is a really, really good friend of mine, and I'm trying to get him to move over to Canada to come and work with us here. Yeah, Dino left Anko in somewhat strange circumstances.
He said he played it to death on my Amiga, permanently getting cramped with those Competition Pro joysticks.
Yeah, you think you complain about breaking controllers on this? See what you did in Kickoff 2.
He said, apart from TGC, is that the best game you developed and played? He said, sorry, no golf questions. The game is perfect.
I have to say, TGC is most probably the best match finished game I worked on. I can't claim too much on Kickoff 2. Didn't do much on that. I was only like 14 at the time. I used to just go and play it a little bit in the Anko shop, and they let me play it before it came out to see if I found any bugs. And I used to go, well, I love this, I like that. I think Kickoff 97 I worked on as well, which was the first game I really had any design input on, was Football Game of the Year and beat FIFA, so that was pretty good. And Alex Ferguson's Player Manager 2003, I really love that game as well. And we've done another game, actually, me and Steve, called Kickoff 2002. And if any of you love Kickoff 2, find that on eBay or something. I've got 2 copies here. And it works with a little, if you get an old Atari joystick that you can USB into the back of your thing, it plays way better than Kickoff 2. We built that after work, and then got a deal with Acclaim through Anko after that, and it was the best game I think I made by miles. That one. And then I made Championship Manager 2010, which was, I think, was amazing. Set Piece Creator was one of the best things in any football management game ever. So yeah, I've done a few good ones. I've done some real stinkers as well.
Alright, let's see here. Oh, get there, ball. Oh, wow. Mean Machine Mo, we kind of covered that. Said asked when the next update is coming. Talked about that one. T Corsi had asked about internet access to flag courses to download locally. Sort of touched on that. Mello had a question in the forums, and actually Paul went in and answered him. Ramjet36. Currently, it seems that the top designer's method of laying down fairways, you click a fairway brush, back out, and add rough 3 or 4 times. Could there be a selection that combines the fairway brush with a nice, tight, light, rough fringe around it? Maybe even an opportunity to say how wide you want that fringe and just have it mimic, exactly around the fairway piece that you put down.
I think that is actually something that Paul's working on. I know that he was doing something with the bumpers that you could widen and shorten things. I know it was the green trim and stuff like that he was looking at. So cool. Maybe the same for the rough. You'll have to ask him.
Okay, sounds good. Oh, and she left a little shortcut over here. I'm going to try it. See if we can take it through. The line's good. I don't know if it's going to get there or not, but let's see. You can need a bounce. Oh, yeah. I like that. All right.
I'm a +8 now. This has been an awful round all of a sudden.
Oh, it's gotten away from you there.
There's a couple of 6s that really really done me in. Talking about Kickoff 2 got me all excited. Kickoff 2 is still my favourite game of all time, by the way. It's like my number 1, and Fahrenheit by Quantic Dream is actually my second.
Let's see, P. Yates. Firstly, would like to know if and when the API might be opened up in general, or is it a case of you have to apply for access?
We're just finishing a few things at the moment with it, and then I think I was talking to Rami about this the other day, and it was like I want to do like a fan site kit sort of thing that you can create your own websites for TGC, and you can use the proper logos and stuff. So you've got the correct logos of the high resolution stuff that you want to use, and then the API will be part of that. I think from a security thing, I think we'll mostly want you to request it from us, so we can make sure that everybody that's messing around with the API is of like sound mind. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that's cool.
Okay. Yeah, he had a second question. He said, "Our course is going to be edited at all. I'd like to be able to use this for course discovery on a website idea I have."
Yeah, it could be. We can modify that API as we like. It's anything that's on the server. We can create views to do that. So, yeah.
Oh, look at that thing spin away. It's still not bad. All right, so we're almost to the end here of the forum questions. I got a lot of chat questions, so I'll get to those. Well, actually, that's pretty much it for the forum questions. Alright. Get through some of the chat here. Jim Jam asked, with Windows 10 and DirectX 12, will it be even more optimized, as according to MS DX12 improves performance?
That would be up to how Unity copes with it, I think, more so than us. We are doing some stuff outside of that, but I can't tell. I can't tell at the moment. I would hope so. It'd be great.
App State, how about the leaderboard showing the best score for the course overall, regardless of platform? You don't maybe not have, well, I said no gamer tag needed.
Yeah, we actually did discuss that quite a bit, because we are allowed to do that, and it was like, do we want to have like we were talking about when tours and tournaments went up as well, and you have everyone in there, and is it going to be any fun when you're just playing against TGC member, TGC member, TGC member?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we can definitely do that. Maybe a toggle that says your platform, all platforms.
Mm-hmm.
We can't say which platform, unfortunately.
Right.
But we can say all platforms.
Okay. D-Dog, I want to shout out kudos to HB for continuous community support during these last few months of issues. The company's fortitude towards all of us complainers is above and beyond any other I have known.
That's good to hear.
Sure.
You know, as not only a developer but also as a gamer, you know, I understand people's problems, and you know, there's certain things that we might disagree on in the way that the game should be, but I think if we can like say what we're trying to go for and what our aim is with the game, and sometimes why things go wrong, you know, season mode, as I've just told everyone, was something that was very bizarre, that we weren't getting random numbers out of the black box generator that is the code base that we unfortunately use. It's them kind of things, you know. It keeps everyone on side, and I think from a consumer point of view, I'd much prefer it if I knew these kinds of things when I play games.
Mm-hmm. Bigots clarified, said the way the land matches up with the retaining wall, so that I guess the way it kind of matches up with that top lip there. So maybe if anything can be done with that. So is that a Paul question?
Yeah, I can ask Paul that one. I might try and get Paul on the thing next week. He's been trying to get out for a game of golf on a Wednesday for the last few weeks, and every time he does, it rains. So
unlucky.
I can see blue sky out there at the moment, so he might have gone for a game.
Golfer dude, what's happening? Any chance we could add fescue grass to the GNCD for certain themes?
I have no idea what fescue grass is.
It's kind of like that yellowy, wispy, taller grass that you see in some of the links courses and things.
Oh right, yeah. I thought that was called long grass. Yeah, I'll talk to Jim about that. We can see what he thinks and how things like that can be added. Always put them things in the suggestions on the designer part as well, because then Jim and Paul go through that and go, yeah, we can add that and we can do that, and things like some of them things that they see can be done really quickly. So we'll see it and they'll go, yeah, okay, well, I've got 20 minutes after lunch there that I can just put that in before I have to go to a meeting, something like that. So then you'll get something like surprises. That's why I'm always surprised by what we get done by the time we get to the release.
Mm-hmm. Alright, let me get my putt here. Hopefully we can finish it up nice. Alright. Fusion says if you like graphs, check out the speed golf thread that he did. He's got a few nice fancy schmancy graphs in there.
Oh, I have to check that then. Oh, birdied the last hole. There we go, +8.
+8.
Look at that, the back 9 killed me. It was a 7 on 4, and the 6 on 9.
He had a couple of...
Yeah, and then I had a 7 on 13.
Couple odd numbers, but that's the Kettler at the Highlands. That's by Wendy 445.
I really enjoyed that course actually. So well done, Wendy. That was a really nice course.
Definitely.
I think we should put that on our suggested one for tomorrow.
All right, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Just ripping through some chat questions if you have a minute.
I've got loads of minutes. I've got another half an hour. So
excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
D-Dog, any news on the playability with Windows 10?
Yeah. So from what we understand at the moment, it works on Windows 10.
Mm-hmm.
The problem we have is these NVIDIA drivers and what they're doing to a lot of games out there, not just ours. We're trying to get hold of NVIDIA. There was new drivers out today, and Adam was going to go and check them, see how well they were working. So yeah, we're talking to them, and NVIDIA actually emailed us back yesterday, the day before, and said that the new drivers that came out last week, did they help? And it was like, no, not really.
Mm-hmm.
I found some stuff on the Witcher forums that Adam looked at that helped reduce it by 25%, the crash. So when games like The Witcher are also having problems, it's not just us. The problem is that people on Steam, they don't look at it like that. They go in, they buy the game doesn't work, it's our fault, unfortunately. Our game did work, and then next minute they've changed the whole of their system and it doesn't work anymore, which is quite annoying.
Yeah, my brother-in-law is using Windows 10, and I just sent him a message yesterday, the day before, and asked him, and he says it's working for him. Shoot, I don't know where.
Yeah, that's good. If it is, that's good. I know, like, from what I understand, it's working. It's just, we can't until it's officially released today, isn't it? So we couldn't really say, because we weren't sure what drivers and what updates were going to go in before that to say if it did work or it didn't.
Actually, Mitchell posted in the chat, said the 23 courses thing, it is to do with user-generated content restrictions on the consoles. We're looking at whether it's something we can get around. Okay, cool.
Oh, D-Dog's got Luke Bisson's email in NVIDIA. He's his past boss. Well, that's a good man to know.
Doily says, is multi-pin support in a tournament on the radar?
No. Not at the moment, no. Well, it's on the radar, but I don't know. I haven't got a ETA on it. It's a lot of design questions with the multi-pin support. It's more so than the actual the doable. It's very doable. It's design-wise how we fit it into the game in a clean way.
I'm sorry, I'm so far behind the chat. Blue said I bolted my joystick down to my desk to play Kickoff 2.
Yeah, a lot of people did. And the old Atari joysticks used to snap when you used to get the aftertouch. Because we used to put, that's how you put spin on the ball, was by, well, after you kicked, you had to spin it either way. Yeah, that's many an Atari joystick broke that way.
D-Dog, I'm not a fan of uniforms rough around a fairway, so maybe that could be an option. Don't think the rough needs to be completely uniform, but too much variation in the width of the light rough looks untidy. Yep. Alright, so D-Dog asks, where's my Pacific West Coast theme?
Yeah, I don't know. Jim's got a list of courses, themes that he's got, and some he's done and some he hasn't. So I've got some in like at hand that I can just release when I want. So that's good. So I'm sure we'll be getting a new theme when we put the next update out as well. Maybe two.
Nice. Doily, any luck tracking down the common bugs in tournament play? That 1-inch putt glitch and the one where people get put back to a previous round.
No, we haven't, but we're still looking at that. That 1-inch putt is very strange. And the previous round, I don't know what that is either. But we're always trying to catch that. And if we've got any good repro steps you can give us, so always let us know.
Hey, Daddy 3000, in an attempt to speed up the game while playing turn-based multiplayer, can the ability to scan your next shot be added as you wait for the other person to hit their ball?
That's a good idea. So yeah, maybe we have a free cam mode or something like that. I like that. Not sure when it will go in, but that's something that would be a nice little addition.
And then I think we're caught up here. Fusion asked, is the tournament win completely random, or are some themes windier than others?
Some themes are windier than others. Highland theme and the Lynx theme are windier than the rest. Desert themes. It's a desert. One of them's the least windy. We've got a default in there for each that everything's based off of. So certain themes are windier than others. Can't remember which ones are which. Oh god, sorry. Yes, but the windy themes are definitely the Lynx and the Highland.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, I think we're all caught up here on stuff. I'll be setting up the play days.
How many drunk people are out there with this?
Yeah. Post in the chat. How many drinks did you finish off during the PS4 swing contests? Drinking game. But yeah, so I'll be back this weekend. I might stream my rounds. Not sure yet. I haven't played any of my rounds yet for the Euro Tour, so that could be something I might be coming up. Otherwise, definitely the weekend. I will get the three play days in there. I'll get those set up.
Maybe tomorrow, late afternoon or something. Might do a PS4 stream.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, and then we can talk through some of it'll just be one round, maybe a 9-hole round. Just taking on the swing and showing what the idea is, and seeing if I have any problems with what people want me to do and what they're having problems with.
Han says hiccup.
Yeah.
Scruffy says I'm always drunk. D-Dog has to work. He couldn't. Frostbite. CA says wait, we were allowed to play from work.
Yeah, always. Yeah, Frostbite's Devon.
Cool. All right,
Yeah.
so let's. I guess we can sign off here. So definitely go out and give Wendy's course a play. Kettler at the Highlands.
Yeah, really good course. Play it.
Definitely. There's a really good job there. So yep. So thanks everybody for joining in. If you haven't hit the follow button down below, please do so. That would be awesome. Got to keep our lead on TGCT Live. They're close, but we took the lead back again, so we have more followers now. So let's keep that ball rolling. But yeah, I think they're going live tonight, so check out that. Certainly check out everybody's streams. I think there's a lot of people doing streams at TGC, so that's awesome. All right, guys. Appreciate it, and we will talk to you soon.
See you later, guys. Bye bye.